A story can be exaggerated, a rumor can be copied, but a camera only does one thing. It captures, and somehow, sometimes, it witnesses shapes that do not fit. Not clear enough to prove, just clear enough to haunt you. This is part 2 of 12 mythical creatures caught on camera. Hold your breath, because some of these cryptids will collapse into logic, some will not, and a few will make you wonder. What if it was real? Number 12. Griffin. The griffin is one of those creatures most people put in the fantasy box instantly. Half lion, half eagle, built from 2 predators your brain already understands. Then a clip like this shows up, and it does not start in a forest or a mountain. It starts like a weird rescue story. According to the setup, someone finds a strange animal and brings it home. And what they show on camera is the reason the comments go crazy. Because it looks like a baby lion. Small body, cub size, the same soft build and face shape. But then you notice what does not belong. It has wings, not little costume flaps, but feathered wings folded against its back. And instead of a normal mouth, it has a beak, curved like an eagle's. That mix is what makes people pause. Your eyes keep bouncing back and forth, trying to force it into one animal, and it refuses. But the internet is full of clips that are designed to trigger one reaction fast. That reaction is, what is that? And this one hits that button perfectly. A prop, a puppet, a costume on a small animal, or even an edited overlay can create the exact same effect. Still, the reason it works is simple. It is not a monster doing something violent. It is something small being held like it belongs in a house. And that normal setting makes the creature feel even more wrong. Number 11. Dragon. This is one of those videos that keeps coming back every few months with a new location attached to it. One day it is a mountain discovery. Another day it is a remote village. Another day it is an island. But the claim stays the same. A dead dragon was found intact, with its limbs, wings, and face still there. And we get why it goes viral, because this is not a blurry shape in the distance, it is a full body reveal. Wings folded like a bat, limbs stretched out, a head and face that looks designed to be recognized as dragon before your brain can slow down. It is the completeness that sells it. People are not guessing what they are looking at, they are naming it immediately. Number 10. Goblin. Number 10 comes straight from Ohio, and it does not give you the usual advantage. It is not dark, it is not grainy, it is daytime with the garage wide open like nothing is supposed to be hiding. Then something rushes in. Not a person, not a cat, not the slow, cautious movement you expect from an animal that knows it is trespassing. It charges into the garage like it has a reason to be there. Fast, wild, almost angry. And the second you get a look at it, you understand why people started calling it a goblin. It is gray. It is skinny in a way that looks unhealthy or unreal. Then the clip turns, because the pit bull comes rushing in and attacks instantly. No warning, no sniffing, no hesitation. It hits the intruder like it already decided what it is, something that should not be here. That is why this one works. Number 9. Unicorn. At first glance, this looks like the easiest one to dismiss. Then you see the horn, because the animal is standing there like it belongs. Calm, ordinary, almost too ordinary. The kind of shot that should end with you saying, it is just a horse. And then the camera angle shifts, or the head turns just enough, and that single detail becomes hard to ignore. A long horn shape in the middle of the forehead. Not a quick blur, not a maybe. It is there for more than one frame, which is why the comments go from jokes to arguments instantly. This is where Scotland does what Scotland always does in these stories. It gives you a setting that already feels myth-ready. Open land, soft light, distance that makes scale hard to judge, and a creature that stays just far enough away to keep the question alive. Number 8. Kraken. The Kraken is not scary because it is mythical. It is scary because the ocean keeps reminding us that too big to be real is not the same as impossible. These clips sit in that exact zone. A massive squid, shown like a trophy catch, pulled up by fishermen and framed as something ancient and ship-sized. The kind of body that makes the word Kraken feel less like a story and more like a warning label. This is where the legend starts working on you, because the Kraken was never really a dragon of the sea. In Scandinavian and Norwegian lore, it is more like a colossal cephalopod, something squid-like or octopus-like, something that surfaces, looks like an island, then disappears again. In 2025, researchers even captured rare deep-sea footage of a juvenile colossal squid in its natural habitat, which tells you how much of this world is still hidden from casual human eyes. Because once you have seen a squid large enough to feel unreal, you do not need fantasy anymore. Your brain fills in the rest on its own. And that is why the Kraken is always the easiest creature to believe for just a second. Number 7. Alien. Do you remember watching those small, big-eyed, green conical-headed creatures we used to recognize as aliens in childhood? Imagine watching him roam around from your security camera. That is the exact vibe of this ring clip. It is a normal porch camera, a quiet frame. Then for barely a second, something trots along the edge of the porch and slips out of view. It is not a dramatic reveal. It is a quick pass at the bottom of the screen, which is why people keep replaying it. The details that make it go viral are simple. The figure looks small and oddly proportioned, almost like the classic alien silhouette people grew up with, and the camera catches it just long enough for your brain to lock on, but not long enough to prove anything. Number 6. Lake Champlain Monster. After the huge mystery of the Loch Ness Monster comes the American cousin that refuses to go away, Lake Champlain Monster. This clip is the kind people love because it is not a story from the 1800s. It is a modern footage, a calm lake, a clean surface, and then a dark shape moving in a way that does not look like a normal ripple. It creates that classic lake monster moment. Something long just under the water, leaving a wake, then disappearing before the camera can settle. That is why Champ works as a legend. It lives in a real place. Lake Champlain is massive, shared by New York and Vermont, with part extending into Quebec. And the monster has a name people already know. Champ, the Lake Champlain Monster. But here's the thing, lake monsters always live in the same gap. Distance plus water plus motion. A big fish near the surface can look like a creature. A floating log can look alive when it turns. A sturgeon can make the exact kind of disturbance people remember as a head and neck. Even the Lake Champlain region tourism site says historians think Champ was probably a garfish-type creature, and that sturgeons still live in the lake today. Number 5. Jersey Devil. Number 5 is the Jersey Devil, and this clip hits because it gives you no warning. The camera is pointed at a dead, quiet hillside. Bare trees, dry grass, nothing moving, the kind of footage you would scroll past without a second thought. Then something steps into frame and your brain immediately goes, that is not right. It is small, dark, skinny, low to the ground. For half a second, it looks like a normal animal, a fox, a stray dog, something you could explain. And then it turns. Behind its back are two pale wing shapes standing up like folded sails. Too tall, too clean, too big for a body that size. The kind of detail that makes your eyes snap to the screen because it feels impossible on something that is walking on the ground. The creature pauses like it heard something, then it moves. It drifts to the right, almost cautious for a moment, like it is deciding whether to run or stay. And then it turns again. And that is where the clip goes from weird to unreal. Because it does not just scramble away, it lifts. The wings shift and spread, and the body rises off the ground like a small, clumsy baby dragon figuring out flight. Not graceful, not smooth. More like a sudden burst of motion that should not be possible for something that was on all fours a second ago. And that is why the Jersey Devil name lands so fast. Number 4. Yeti. The funniest thing about a Yeti video is this. The creature is never scary until it moves. At first, it is just standing there. A big white shape on the snow, far enough away that your brain can pretend it is real. Then it starts running, not walking, not stalking, running straight at the camera like it is about to collide with the person filming. The camera shakes, the moment turns chaotic, and for a second, it feels like one of those clips where you think, okay, this is the one. Then it gets even better. The Yeti rushes past the camera crew and immediately loses control. It slips, it stumbles, and it goes tumbling down the hill like a giant mascot that forgot gravity exists. And that is why the clip works. It gives you just enough of the approach to feel like a sighting. Then it gives you a fall that makes it harder to take seriously. And it ends before you get the only detail that would settle it. Number 3. Elf. This is the one that feels like a childhood memory got uploaded to a security camera. You see a quiet driveway at night, nothing happening, nothing moving, the kind of clip you would never save. And then a small figure shows up near the house and starts walking down the driveway like it has all the time in the world. That walk is the whole reason people cannot let it go. It is not sneaking. It is not running. It is strutting, almost dancing, like it is performing for the camera. And the proportions make it worse. Thin legs, oversized head, ears that look too big, too cartoonish. It hits the exact childhood template. The little elf or goblin you remember from stories, now moving through a real place. That is why the internet immediately gave it a name. Elf? Goblin? Dobby? Number 2. Mokla Mbembe. If you want a video to go viral, add 2 things: a trail cam overlay and a silhouette your brain can name in 1 second. This one has both. You get the night vision wash, dead grass glowing white, thin branches cutting the frame, and at the bottom, the camera stamp. CAM007. Temperature, date, time. The footage is basically wearing a badge that says, "This is real." Then the background moves. A dark mass crosses behind the brush, and the shape that jumps out is the neck. Long, forward, almost horizontal, like the front half of something bigger is leading the way. In the tighter frames, it looks like a bulky body with that long neck extending out, exactly the silhouette people associate with a dinosaur. That is where the Congo story gets pulled in automatically. Mokele Mbembe. The river monster people describe like a living dinosaur hiding in the deep, not because the clip proves it, because the shape gives people permission to say the name out loud. Now here is the part nobody wants to hear. Trail cams are illusion machines. Night vision flattens depth. Foreground glare makes the background look heavier. And if 2 animals overlap, or an animal passes behind brush at the wrong moment, your brain will merge shapes into one creature. A body becomes a dinosaur. A branch becomes a neck. Number 1. Vampire. Picture the most normal setting for a myth to die. Daytime TV, bright lights, a host trying to keep it light, an audience ready to laugh. Then the camera lands on him. He does not look like a movie vampire. He looks like a normal Asian guy, clean, calm, almost too put together, the kind of face your brain reads as safe, and then you see the detail that ruins that comfort. The fangs are out, not a quick flash, not a joke for 1 second. He is sitting there with them visible, like he is not hiding it and not apologizing for it. And that is when he starts talking about his body like it is a case file. He says his medical tests come back weird, inconclusive, hard to classify, like the numbers do not settle into anything doctors can easily label. He says machines have trouble reading him. He says the results do not line up the way they should. The clip is unsettling for one reason. He is not performing fear. He is performing certainty. He says it with the tone of someone describing a condition. No drama, no blinking. There you have it. 12 cryptid footages that will make you rewind the clip, pause the frame, and maybe even rub your eyes. Now, it is your turn. Which one felt the most real to you, and which one screamed hoax? Drop the number in the comments and tell me why. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next countdown, because the next one goes even deeper. More sightings, stranger footage, and creatures.